Listen carefully, for what I am about to say may change the course of your life. Too many people spend their days chasing approval, waiting for recognition, or looking for validation from others. They live in the shadows of opinions, bound by the chains of comparison. And in doing so, they forget the most important rule of success. Your journey is yours, and yours alone. If you want to win, if you want to rise above the noise, you must keep your focus on one thing, and one thing only, you. Your progress, your discipline, your growth, your mission. Because the moment you begin to measure yourself by someone else's timeline, you weaken your own power. You see, the world is full of distractions, voices that will tell you you're not enough, temptations that will try to pull you away from your purpose, and setbacks that will whisper that it's easier to quit. But champions, true winners, do not bend to distraction, they build unshakable focus. Every success story you admire began with someone who decided to ignore the world and focus inward. They understood that the greatest competition is not out there, it is within. The enemy you must defeat is not another person. It is the doubt inside you, the fear inside you, the hesitation that tells you to wait. When you lock your focus on yourself, you will notice something remarkable. Progress begins to compound. One disciplined day turns into one disciplined week. One disciplined week turns into one disciplined year, and before you know it, you've built a version of yourself you once thought was impossible. But here is the truth: focus is not easy. It will demand everything from you. Your patience, your time, your consistency, your relentless belief that no matter how long it takes, you will not quit until you win. There will be days when it feels like no one sees your effort. Days when you will question why you even started. Days when you will want to give up. But on those days you must remember this: your future self is watching. The person you are becoming is counting on you to stay disciplined when no one is cheering, to keep going when no one believes, to keep your eyes locked on the path even when the road feels endless, because winning is not a single moment. It is not a trophy, a title, or a headline. Winning is a series of small, quiet victories stacked day after day, built through unshakable commitment to yourself. And when you do win, and you will, people will call it luck. They will call it talent. They will call it natural ability. But you will know the truth: it was focus. It was the power of shutting out the noise, ignoring the opinions, and keeping your energy directed toward your mission. So, starting today, stop looking sideways. Stop worrying about who is ahead or who is behind. Run your own race, because your victory is not determined by their pace. It is determined by your persistence. Keep your focus on you until you grow, until you rise, until you conquer, until you win, because the moment you make yourself the priority, the moment you take control of your mind, your time, your habits, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Stay locked in, stay patient, stay disciplined, and remember, the win belongs to the one who refuses to lose focus. If you wish to rise to greatness, you must first understand this eternal law of achievement. Your journey is yours and yours alone. The moment you begin to measure your life by the yardstick of others, you weaken the very foundation upon which your success must be built. Too many people live their lives looking to the left and to the right, studying the steps of those around them, asking, "Am I moving fast enough? Am I as successful as they are? Am I falling behind?" And in that constant state of comparison, they lose sight of the only path that matters, the path that leads to the fullest expression of their own potential. The truth is simple, but it is powerful. Your growth is not determined by their progress. Your timing is not their timing. Your battles, your lessons, and your victories are unique to you. The race you are running is yours, and until you fully accept that, you will never find peace, nor will you find the clarity to create the life you desire. Every great success story begins with a man or a woman who decided to stop seeking approval from the world and started seeking mastery within themselves. They did not chase the applause of the crowd, nor did they concern themselves with the doubts of the masses. They knew that the climb to the top requires a singular focus, a relentless attention directed inward toward their own vision, their own purpose, their own mission. Understand this: when you spend your energy comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, you rob yourself of the power that comes from patience and persistence. The man you envy today, the woman you admire today, they too were once invisible. They too endured nights of obscurity, days when no one believed in them, seasons when the only thing they had to hold on to was faith in their own journey. What separates those who rise from those who remain stagnant is simple: focus. The unwavering decision to keep their attention fixed on their own work, their own growth, and their own discipline, regardless of who notices, regardless of how long it takes. There will be voices that try to distract you, friends who question your ambition, family members who tell you to play it safe, strangers who laugh when you dare to dream bigger than your circumstances. But if you are wise, you will not bend to the noise. You will not allow the opinions of those who are too afraid to chase their own dreams to poison your commitment to yours. Instead, you will rise each day with a single intention: to be better than you were yesterday. You will focus on the small, quiet victories that no one else sees: the extra hour of work, the page you write when you feel tired, the workout you complete when your body aches, the sacrifice you make when comfort calls your name. Because these small victories, compounded day after day, become unstoppable momentum. And here is the beauty of staying focused on yourself: the world eventually catches up. The progress that feels invisible in the beginning becomes undeniable over time. The seeds you plant in silence grow roots, then stems, then branches, until one day they bear fruit for all to see. But by then, you will have learned the most valuable lesson of all: that the reward is not in the recognition, but in the person you became during the journey. When you keep your focus on you, you begin to understand that success is not about speed but direction. It is not about who gets there first, but who refuses to quit. It is about waking up each morning and saying, "I will run my race at my pace in my time." And with that quiet confidence, you will find yourself growing in ways you never thought possible. Do not let the noise of the world drown out the voice within you. Do not let the timelines of others rush you into a destiny that is not yours. You are exactly where you need to be, as long as you are moving forward, as long as you are learning, as long as you are becoming. Keep your focus where it belongs: on you, on your vision, on your discipline, on your relentless commitment to improvement. And in time, the world will have no choice but to witness what happens when a person refuses to look anywhere but inward, refuses to compete with anyone but their former self, and refuses to stop until they have built a life worthy of their potential. That is the path of true victory. That is how you win, by keeping your focus on you, until the day you rise so high that no one can deny the power of your quiet, steady, disciplined climb. The world is loud. Everywhere you turn, there is noise: voices telling you what you should be, how you should act, and what you should settle for. The noise of doubt, the noise of fear, the noise of endless distractions waiting to pull you away from the very thing you were born to do. And if you are not careful, if you are not deliberate, you will allow that noise to dictate the course of your life. But here is a truth the successful understand: focus is a choice. It does not happen by accident. It is built through discipline, through the conscious decision to guard your mind, your time, and your energy as though they are the most valuable assets you possess, because they are. Every dream worth chasing demands sacrifice. And the first sacrifice you must make is the luxury of distraction. You cannot move forward with your mind divided, with your attention scattered across the meaningless chatter of the world. To rise above the ordinary, you must develop the strength to silence the noise and tune your attention only to what matters. The noise will come in many forms. It will come as the opinions of others, people who do not understand your vision and therefore try to convince you to shrink it. It will come as fear, that subtle, poisonous whisper in the back of your mind telling you that you are not ready, that you are not enough. It will come as temptation, the endless pull toward easy pleasures, the quick distractions that steal your time and delay your progress. But those who win, those who build lives of purpose and achievement, are the ones who learn to master their focus. They recognize that attention is power, and wherever attention flows, energy follows. They decide every single day to place that energy only on the tasks, the habits, and the disciplines that move them closer to their vision. Look closely at those who have achieved greatness, and you will see this truth repeated again and again. They are not always the smartest, they are not always the most talented, but they are consistent, they are deliberate. They refuse to allow the noise of the world to distract them from the work that matters. This mastery of focus does not happen overnight. It is built slowly, with intention, through daily habits that protect your mind from chaos. It is found in the early mornings, when the world is still asleep and you are alone with your thoughts, planning your steps with clarity. It is found in the discipline of saying no to the people, the habits, and the activities that do not align with your mission. It is found in the quiet confidence that you do not need to explain yourself to anyone, because you know where you are going and why you must get there. Understand this: distractions are the enemy of progress. They appear harmless, a quick conversation, a little procrastination, a moment of doubt, but over time they add up. They rob you of days, weeks, even years. And before you realize it, you are standing still, wondering why your dreams remain out of reach while others seem to surge ahead. But when you decide to eliminate the noise, when you choose to protect your focus as fiercely as you protect your dreams, you step into a rare space where progress becomes inevitable. You begin to think with clarity. You begin to act with purpose. You begin to move day after day closer to the life you were destined to build. There will be those who do not understand your silence. They will not understand why you spend less time on things that do not serve you. They will misinterpret your focus as arrogance or isolation. Let them. Their misunderstanding is none of your concern, because while they are distracted, while they are busy chasing approval and comfort, you are busy building. And then, one day, your results will speak louder than any words ever could. They will see the rewards of your discipline, the life you have created, and they will call it luck. But you will know the truth that it was not luck at all, but the product of intentional, disciplined focus that refused to bow to distraction. So guard your mind, protect your attention, decide what truly matters, and give yourself to it fully, without hesitation and without apology. Shut out the voices that do not serve you, close the doors to distractions that drain you, and direct every ounce of your energy toward the mission that sets your soul on fire. Because when you learn to control your focus, you learn to control your destiny. And in that quiet mastery, you discover the power to create a life that cannot be shaken by noise, by doubt, or by fear, a life that belongs only to you, built with intention, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to what truly matters. If you wish to claim victory in this life, you must understand one unshakable truth. The greatest enemy you will ever face is not out there in the world, it is within you. It is not the competitor across the room, not the critic on the sidelines, not the doubters who fail to see your vision. No, the true battle is with the silent adversary that lives in your mind, the voice of fear, of hesitation, of doubt. You can conquer every obstacle placed in your path, but if you fail to conquer yourself, you will never rise. The battlefield of success is not a distant arena. It is your own heart, your own mind, your own belief system. Fear will whisper to you in the quiet hours of the night, telling you that you are not enough, that your dreams are too big, that you are foolish to even try. It will tell you to wait until you are ready, until you have more money, more knowledge, more support. And if you listen, if you give that voice power, it will chain you where you stand. Hesitation is another enemy. cloaked in false safety. It convinces you to take smaller steps, to hold back, to delay the action that could change everything. It will promise you comfort, but in exchange, it steals your time, your momentum, and your opportunities. Doubt will be the loudest of all. It will tell you that you are not capable, that others are smarter, stronger, more deserving. It will feed on every past failure, magnify every weakness, and paint a picture of defeat so convincing that you will want to surrender before you've even begun. But here is the truth. These voices only have the power you choose to give them. The man or woman who masters themselves is unstoppable. They do not ignore fear, they face it. They do not wait for doubt to vanish, they act in spite of it. They do not allow hesitation to paralyze them, they train their mind to move forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness, and you will see a person who has fought and won this internal war. They were not free from fear, they were simply unwilling to let fear dictate their decisions. They were not strangers to doubt, they just refused to let doubt have the final word. You must understand that the battle within is not fought once. It is a daily war. Every morning you wake up, you must decide, will I feed my fear, or will I feed my faith? Will I give in to hesitation, or will I take action with courage? Will I let doubt write my story, or will I rise and write it myself? Self-mastery begins with awareness. You must catch yourself in those moments when fear creeps in, when hesitation tries to slow you, when doubt tries to convince you that you are not enough, and in those moments you must choose strength. You must remind yourself of your vision, of the reason you started, of the fire that burns within you. Discipline your mind to see setbacks not as signs of failure but as lessons. Train yourself to find opportunity in the face of adversity. Teach yourself to take one more step, even when your legs shake, even when your heart pounds, even when every voice in your head is screaming for you to stop. Because victory belongs to the one who refuses to be defeated by themselves. The external world cannot destroy you unless you allow the internal world to collapse first. Build your mind like a fortress, fill it with thoughts of strength, belief, and unshakable resolve. Every great achievement is proof that fear can be silenced, that hesitation can be overcome, that doubt can be defeated. And the moment you realize that the power to win or lose lies entirely within your control, you will never again look at yourself the same way. You will understand that the competition is not with the man beside you, but with the man you were yesterday. Your task is not to prove them wrong, it is to prove yourself right. To look in the mirror each day and know that you are becoming stronger, sharper, more relentless than you were the day before. The battle within will never disappear completely, but neither will your power to fight it. And with each victory, with each step forward in spite of fear, hesitation, and doubt, you will grow, you will rise, you will build a version of yourself capable of conquering anything that stands in your way. The day you understand this truth, that your mind is your greatest weapon, and that your only true enemy is the one you carry within, is the day you become unstoppable. Discipline, it is a word so simple, yet it carries the weight of every success story ever told. Without discipline, talent fades. Without discipline, dreams remain distant. Without discipline, potential dies quiet and unfulfilled. But with it, with unwavering, unshakable discipline, a person becomes unstoppable. Success is not built in grand moments. It is not the applause, the awards, or the recognition that creates greatness. It is built in the quiet, unseen hours, the mornings when you rise before the sun, the nights when you choose to work instead of rest, the endless days when no one notices your effort, but you continue forward anyway. That is where discipline is forged. That is where the foundation of every victory is laid. The truth that most will never accept is that discipline is freedom. It is the power to take control of your life, to move deliberately toward your vision, to create momentum so strong that nothing can stand in your way. Most people live by their emotions. They wait for motivation to come. They wait for the right time, for the perfect moment, for the right feeling to carry them forward. But those who rise, those who achieve, know better. They do not wait to feel ready. They act regardless of how they feel. Discipline is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It is the quiet promise you make to yourself and keep every single day. When you commit to doing the work, even when it hurts, even when it's inconvenient, you separate yourself from the masses. Think about it. Every great achievement you admire, every story of triumph that inspires you, began with someone who refused to quit when it would have been easy to stop. They mastered the art of showing up day after day, week after week, year after year, stacking small wins until those small wins compounded into something extraordinary. The world will try to distract you. Comfort will call your name. The temptation to take shortcuts, to rest on your current progress, will whisper in your ear. But discipline will remind you that shortcuts lead to dead ends, that comfort leads to stagnation, and that only relentless, focused effort leads to greatness. Discipline is built in the small decisions. It is saying no when you want to say yes. It is choosing progress over pleasure. It is waking up early when the bed is warm and the world is quiet. It is putting in the extra hour when you are tired, when no one is watching, when no one is applauding your effort. And the beauty of discipline is this: it compounds. What feels impossible in the beginning becomes natural over time. The habits you build through discipline become part of who you are. What once required force becomes effortless, and when that happens, when discipline becomes your default, you step into a place where success is no longer a matter of if, but only of when. But do not mistake discipline for perfection. You will stumble, you will miss a step. You will have days when you fail to keep your promises. That is not what defines you. What defines you is your response. The disciplined man does not dwell in failure. He rises, recommits, and continues forward with even greater determination. Understand this. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without it, your vision will remain only a vision, forever out of reach. But with it, you gain the ability to take control of your destiny, to shape your life into something extraordinary, to build brick by brick the future you desire. The man who masters discipline masters his life. He does not allow circumstances, emotions, or distractions to dictate his actions. He moves with purpose, with intention, with an unrelenting focus on his mission, and in time the world takes notice. The results speak for themselves. There will come a day when those who doubted you will call you lucky. They will say you were born with talent, with gifts they could never possess, but you will know the truth. It was not luck, it was not talent, it was discipline, the discipline to do what others would not, to stay when others quit, to keep building when others gave up. And when you stand at the top, when you look back at the path you climbed, you will realize that the journey itself was the true reward. The person you became through discipline, stronger, sharper, more resilient, will be worth more than any victory you achieve. Discipline is the key. Build it, honor it, protect it, and it will take you further than you ever dreamed possible. There will come a time on your journey when everything in you will want to stop. The road will feel too long, the weight too heavy, the silence too loud. You will question why you began. You will question whether you are strong enough, good enough, worthy enough. And in that moment, when the world feels like it has turned its back on you, you will face a choice to stand still and let the dream fade, or to take another step forward even when it feels impossible. Understand this truth: every great achievement carries with it seasons of struggle, seasons when nothing seems to move, when your efforts feel invisible, when the world seems blind to your sacrifices. It is in those seasons that most people quit. It is in those seasons that most people convince themselves that the dream is too far away, that the effort is too much, that perhaps it was never meant for them. But those who win, those who rise to heights most only dream of, are the ones who stay committed when it is hardest to stay. They understand that progress is not always visible, that growth is often silent, that transformation happens beneath the surface long before the results can be seen. Think of the seed buried deep in the soil. For weeks, for months, nothing appears above the ground. To the casual observer, it looks as if nothing is happening. But below the surface, roots are forming, strength is building, and a foundation is being laid that will one day support something magnificent. Your journey is no different. Every small action, every disciplined choice, every step you take when no one is watching is planting roots that will one day break through the surface, but the roots only grow if you do not quit. The path to any meaningful goal will test you. It will test your patience. It will test your resilience. It will test your willingness to keep going when the reward is nowhere in sight. That is why so few ever taste the sweetness of victory, because they give up in the silence, not realizing that their breakthrough was just beyond the point where they stopped. When the nights feel long and the progress feels non-existent, remind yourself that consistency compounds. One day of effort builds upon the next. One disciplined hour turns into a week turns into a month, and before you know it, you have built a foundation so strong that nothing can tear it down. Commitment through the struggle is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Anyone can be disciplined when the path is easy, when the applause is loud, when the results are visible. But few can stay disciplined when the world is quiet, when no one is watching, when nothing seems to be working. That is the price of greatness, and understand this, the silence is a gift. It is in that silence that you build the character required to hold the success you are chasing. It is in that silence that you sharpen your mind, that you learn patience, that you discover the strength you did not know you had. The future version of you, the one who has conquered, the one who has built, the one who has arrived, is counting on you to keep moving forward today. That future self is watching, silently urging you not to give up, not to give in, not to abandon the process when the journey feels endless. Yes, the road will be lonely. Yes, there will be moments when the voices of doubt scream louder than your faith. But know this: no season of struggle lasts forever. Every storm passes. Every night gives way to morning, and every step you take in the darkness brings you closer to the light. When you finally break through, when you finally reach that place you have been fighting for, the pain will make sense. You will look back and see that every challenge, every setback, every silent season was building you, preparing you, shaping you into the person capable of holding the victory that now rests in your hands. Stay committed through the struggle. Be relentless when the road grows quiet. Trust the process when results are invisible, because the moment you decide that quitting is not an option is the moment you guarantee that, sooner or later, you will arrive. Winners are not those who never feel doubt or never face difficulty. Winners are those who feel the weight of the struggle and keep moving forward anyway. That is the mindset that builds empires. That is the mindset that turns dreams into reality. Keep walking, keep building, keep fighting, and one day, when the world finally sees what you have created, they will call it overnight success. But you will know it was built in silence, earned through discipline, and made possible only because you stayed committed when everything in you wanted to quit. Victory is never handed to you. It is never given freely, never delivered without cost. It is earned through effort, through sacrifice, through an unwavering commitment to stay the course long after others have walked away. And when that moment of triumph finally comes, when the world begins to take notice of what you have built, most will call it luck. They will point to chance, to timing, to circumstances beyond your control, but you will know the truth. It was your relentless focus, your discipline, and your refusal to quit that carried you to the finish line. Success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who work. It comes to those who are willing to outlast the doubt, the pain, the endless hours of invisible effort. It comes to those who understand that the world does not reward intentions, it rewards action. You can dream as big as you want, but without the grit to show up, to do the work, and to stay consistent, your dreams will remain just that, dreams. Most people never win because they want the reward without the responsibility. They want the prize without the price. They are willing to start, but not to finish. They are willing to try, but not to endure, and so they settle. They convince themselves that success is for someone else, for those born with talent, for those who were handed opportunities, for those who got lucky. But luck is nothing more than preparation meeting opportunity. And preparation is born from focus, from the daily decision to show up and give everything you have, even when there is no applause, even when no one is watching, even when it feels like nothing is working. If you want to win, you must commit to the process. You must become so focused on your mission that distractions lose their power, that fear loses its voice, that doubt loses its grip. You must be willing to keep going when the path is dark, when the climb is steep, when every part of you aches from the weight of the journey, because victory is not built in the easy moments. It is not built in comfort. It is built in the hours when you want to stop but choose to take one more step. It is built in the days when you see no progress but keep building anyway. It is built in the quiet decisions you make when no one else will ever know or care, the decisions that slowly, silently compound into greatness. When you finally break through, when you rise above the noise and stand in the place you once only imagined the world will take notice. They will talk about your talent, your intelligence, your supposed advantages, but they will never understand the nights you spent in solitude, the mornings you rose before dawn, the times you failed and refused to stay down. You will know the truth that your victory was earned, that it was carved from the hours of discipline, the days of persistence, the years of unrelenting focus, and that truth will mean more to you than any applause, any recognition, any reward. To win, you must be willing to do what most will not. You must be willing to walk alone when no one believes. You must be willing to endure ridicule, rejection, and setbacks, and still move forward with your head held high and your eyes locked on the vision ahead. Every day you stay committed, every day you choose focus over distraction, every day you move forward in faith rather than fear, you are earning your victory. It may not feel like it, it may feel slow, invisible, even impossible. But progress is happening. The seeds you are planting with discipline and persistence are growing, even when you cannot yet see them. And when that growth finally bursts through the surface, when your results become undeniable, you will understand why the struggle was necessary. You will understand that the price you paid was small compared to the life you have built, compared to the strength you have developed, compared to the person you have become. So stay in the fight, stay focused. Stay disciplined, because the truth is simple. No one can stop a man or woman who refuses to quit. No obstacle is stronger than persistence. No setback is greater than a mind locked on its mission. And one day, when you stand at the summit of your dreams, when you look back at the long road you climbed, you will not see luck. You will not see chance. You will see every disciplined step, every focused hour, every moment of pain and persistence that brought you to victory. And you will know, without question, that you earned it.